Waiatawa, Petitua, Petiwa. Te paki aka te raka o maere nuku, o maere raki, o maere te mara whenua. I ruka tāne, i raro tāne, paku o tāne, te raki hi o tāne. Ka hoaka tāki, hoatu e tāne kiuta. Tuturu piti whakamaua kia tūna. Hōmie, huia, tāiki. Ui tuatai ki turukurawa nōna te timataka ko nōna te whakamutunga. Horino i ana hoki, nāna tata katoa manaki tiaki ka wā katoa. A huri au kia rātou, koe hea ki te pō, ko tai mai te tei manu i tēnei wā, ko tā nuku te tihi o hananu. Mai pukiti ana te whenua o aurua, e te roimata, e te rakatira a tāri, moi mai rā o ki mai. Hauri mātou wari tia e tō mahi, ki aurua, ki kai kaura hoki, he mahi ana, mō wai, mō ka hapu o kaitahu, o te iwi whānui, a waitaha, kāti mai me waitaha, he tarakatira, moi mai rā, oki mai. Awhiti ora tātou hono, rātou kia tātou, oreira koutou, nau mai hara mai ki te hui nei, rima rau, rima te kaumā whā, i tēnei rā, o te kaunera tai au ki waita. Ki ngā kai kaunihera, tēnā koutou, ki ngā kai mahi. Kia koe, te kai hautu o te waka nei, tēnā koe Stephanie, koutou katoa, nei anō te mihi. Kia koe David, te kai ropuata, hara mai, nau mai hara mai, huri noa, te whare nei, tēnā koutou, a tēnā tato katoa, ka huri.
Tēnā koe, Councillor Cranwell, mō tō mihi, hei whakatūwhera nei o tātou nei hui, tēnā koe. Tēnā koe hoki mō tō mihi ki nā atua, ki nā mate o te wā nei hoki, ki a tāri. Ai, moi mai, hoki mai. Ai rātou kia rātou, tātou kia tātou, tō ngora. Ai, nā kai kaunihera, nā kai mahi, manuheri, tēnā koutou. Kia ora, welcome to the 554th meeting of the Canberra Regional Council. We're recording the meeting as usual, and it'll be available on our website later on. Everyone remember, please use your microphones. I'll try to remember that too when you're speaking. And we've also got, we've got David in the room from North Canterbury News, and also Sinead Gill from Stuff Online as well. And obviously staff online as well. So, and we've got a quorum, so that's good. And I declare the meeting open. Kia ora. Our first item is the apologies. Now, we've got apologies from Chair Peter Scott, hence why deputies are taking the meeting today. And also, we've got Claire Mackay, who's actually online. So she's an apology for not being physically present, but can take a part in the meeting. I'm just going to, at this stage, just hand over to Stephanie just to explain that process.
Ngā mihi, Chair. So just to be clear on process under the Local Government Act, we do require a quorum within the chambers. As long as there is a quorum within the chambers and our standing orders specifically allow councillors to be online, and our standing orders do, councillors can then be online and fully participate, including for voting. But we must have a quorum in the chamber, and we do, Chair, have a quorum in the chamber. Thank you.
Kia ora, Stephanie. So yeah, apologies from Chair Scott and Councillor Mackay for not being present. And David?
Can I just clarify what is a quorum? How many?
A quorum is 8. Sorry.
Thank you. So that's apologies done. Thank you for that, Stephanie. Moving to conflicts of interest. Are there any conflicts of interest on today's agenda from anybody? No, that's great. We have no public forum deputations or petitions that we've received. Is there any extraordinary or urgent business? No, very good. We'll move on. There's no notices of motion. So we'll move on, and we're up to item 7. And that's on page 6 of your agendas. These are the unconfirmed minutes of our inaugural meeting that we've had just in late October. So are there any matters of accuracy in the minutes? No, that's good. So I'm going to put the motion that the council confirms the minutes from the council meeting held on 27th of October 2022. Is there a mover? Councillor Davies, seconder. Councillor Southworth. I recognise the mover and the seconder. All those in favour say aye. Any against? No, motion carried. Thank you. So we'll move on to item 8.1. Very exciting time for us. Something that we started last Triennium to have speeches at the start of the first meeting after the inaugural meeting. So what's happening is we've got a podium in the corner of the room. I'm going to call out councillors alphabetically. They've got 3 minutes to do their speeches. They'll hear a bell at 2 minutes and then another bell at 3 minutes. And hopefully people can wrap up at that point. And if you're doing a mihi, we're not going to start the clock until you start your speech because you're speaking a couple of languages. So if you want to speak another language, all good as well. So yeah, first up is Councillor Burns. Oh, sorry. Thank you. We've just got to move the resolution to allow us to do our speeches first. Sorry, we got that. So the resolution is, and I don't mind moving it from the chair, that the council allows members an opportunity to deliver a beginning of Triennium speech to the council. Have I got a second? Thank you. Any against? No, motion carried. Thank you. So, Councillor Burns, you're up to the podium. Kia ora.
Ko te pōho o tamatia matua iwi e tū mai rā, ko o Pāwahu ta awa I reri ana, ko Shannon, rātou ko Daniel, ko Amelia, aku tamariki, koe te mahi o ke te kohaka o tūhaitara, ko Otautahi kaika I Nainai, nō reira ko Greg Burns tēnei. Kia ora everybody. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge and that I am grateful to the people of Christchurch Central or Hoku for putting me in this position. I'm not here as a moral beacon or as an example to others. I'm not qualified for that. I'm here because my working, parental and social life has been in and around the environment in one way or another. From hands-on in the field to planner, policy writer, restorer, advocate, educator and now governor. That I am qualified for. I love the environment. It has been the one thing that has been a constant in my life. The place where I have always been felt welcome, honest and connected. My greatest friend, really. That's why I put myself forward to do my very best so that those still to come will have that opportunity to experience those things. I cannot promise anything other than to be open, honest and completely committed to ensuring that where Environment Canterbury has a legal and moral responsibility, I will do my absolute best to ensure we are on the right side of history. I will act with respect and I will call out those who do not act in the same way. People may change, but values don't. Tamatu, tama-ora, tama-moi, tama-mate. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Burns. Next up, Councillor Cranwell.
Ora wai re wai, taku pane ki uta aku wai ki tai, taku kaika ki o, tā wiri e taunei. Taunei a mako taunei ia ire keu, ka tāru e wihi o wai re wai, hao nui. Kore e kore, he ora ka kakao I te pūmau taka o enei turu, I nai nei muaki tonu atu. Kaya maua a tuta haunuku te mana ki te tuku poti I nai nei ki runga e tēnei tepu. Paio! Ko maua te kōnohi o ka tupuna I whawhai mo te whenua mo te wai mo waki tōnu atu. E whitu ka reika e whawhai mō maua I noho ana ki runga e tēnei tepu. Ka mahi ake mō rātou mō te tau kei te heki mai nei. Ko maua hoki te mata mō ka hapu mai I te wai o toa, tai atu ki te o mako, mai I ka tiritiri o te moana, tai atu ki tai. Ko ta e te hai, he mea amu, he mea whakahāwea, he mea whakawehi-wehi. Ikari, ki te nuaka I whaki atu ki a hau, he mea whakakotahi, he mea whakahono-hono ma Aotearoa kei raro I te mana o te tiriti o Waitaki. Koe nei te take, ko tēnei te timataka anake. Ka hiko I tātou katoa, pokihiwi ki te pokihiwi, ki te ara o rite. Me maumahara tātou, e hara tēnei wahi mo te kaitōranga pūpāti, me whai whakaaro tātou mo ia kaupapa Iowa. Ko ka kaupapa nui ki a hau, mo ka tau e toru kei te heke mai nei, ko te mea nui tiaki te wai. Ara he roto, he awa, he maka, te moana, ka whawhai tonu mo e rā. E rere te wai mai ki uta ki tai. Ara te mana o te wai, te oraka o te tai au. Ko te mahere ki uta ki tai, me te taku tai moana, te whakamanawa taka o te ao, ka hurika ki te ao huri. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, a tēnā tātou katoa. E re te wai e, pupu ake mo te whenua e. E re te wai e, he pupu ake mo te whenua e. E re te wai e, hei oraka mo te tākata e. E re te wai e, hei oraka mo te tākata e. Mari ora.
Tēnā koe, Councillor Cranwell. Councillor Davies, haramai.
Ko ingarangi te papakainga, ko tauhinu Karakia te moanga, ko pawahu te awa, nā te wakarerangi a hau e hoki mai nei, ko Lorna Dawa, ko Thomas Aku Mātua, ko Davis Taku Hapu, ko Joseph Ahau. It is a great honour to have been given the opportunity to serve in this chamber by the people of North East Christchurch, and I'd like to especially thank my party, Reuben Davidson and Jenny Huey, for their support. 18th of December 1850, the Charlotte Jane sailed into Whaka-Ora, and as the first customs boat approached the shore, James Fitzgerald, with a lame leg and hollow cheeks, leapfrogged the other passengers onto the shallows and limped ashore triumphantly as the first pilgrim to set foot on Canterbury soil. When Godley described the plains to him over an excited lunch, he ached with desire to see this land, and so despite his lameness, they set off up Bridle Path on this very first afternoon. As they climbed the ascent, they discussed the founding of new nations, of new governments, and when they reached the top of the track, the plains came into view, stretching away to an infinite distance. Imagine if they could see us here now in this chamber. What would they think of the state of our society, of our waterways, of the health and well-being of our people? And what do we see for our future? North East Christchurch is going to look very different, not in the long term, but in the here and now. And both my campaign and policy platform were shaped by the July flooding, where we experienced 4 times the July rain average, in what was the wettest month Christchurch City has faced on record. I spoke to residents, particularly of Spencerville and Brooklands, who called the City Council as the water levels rose. They were not called back. And so civil defence became a priority for my campaign, and I'll work to broaden the net when it comes to connecting our communities into emergency planning. And in the August aftermath of this period, when I would run alongside the Otakaro Avon River, I saw Bexley turning and returning to the wetland that it once was. 2 questions came to mind. How best do we include our communities in the decisions that are going to affect our lives in the short term with regard to climate change? And how can we leverage the opportunity that this period gives us to live more harmoniously with our birds, wetlands, and marine life? This is why I'm here. These are the questions that I was elected to not necessarily answer, but to keep present in my decision making. I'll close with a whakatauki. He pai te tirohanga ki ngā mahara mō ngā rā pāhemo engari ka puta te māramatanga I runga I te titiro whakamua. It's fine to have recollections of the past, but wisdom comes from being able to prepare opportunities for the future.
Tēnā koe, Councillor Davies. Councillor East, nau mai, hara mai. Oh, aroha mai, aroha mai. You can go, and I'll do you next, Councillor DJ. Thanks. Thank you. Okay. Aroha mai, Councillor DJ, hara mai.
Kia ora koutou. First, I would like to thank all those from my ward that voted for me. Thank you for your confidence and support. Then I would like to say to those that did not vote for me, that I hope I can do a good job and in your respect, in the very least, this triennium. I was laying down to sleep last night and was reading about and watching videos of the launch of NASA's Artemis rocket, returning that organization to the moon and continuing, as John F. Kennedy so appropriately stated, to do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. And that led me to contemplate my journey and mission and my role with this organization, Environment Canterbury, and the hard work that we have ahead of us. The work which we campaigned for and agreed to do because it is hard, and we are keen to take up the challenge. And then I contemplated the words that came across in the most unusual and awe-inspiring place. Words that have helped me to drive forward in hard times and seemingly impossible times. At the top of a small peak on Ross Island in Antarctica, a peak known as Observation or Ob Hill, you can look over and see a historic scout hut on Hut Point, and further in the distance, the dry valleys. And then turning your gaze, you can look out across the vast expanse that it is the Royal Society mountain range. And then you can see White Island and Black Island. And down below, Scott Base, New Zealand's our base. And in the background, you have Mount Erebus with its volcanic plume. And it's from the top of this small peak that you will find a large wooden cross. And on that cross, a cross that was erected by the remnants of Captain Robert Falcon Scott's men I offer to the people of my ward, but also to the people of Canterbury, who I took an oath to serve in this role. These are the words etched on that cross, the words from Lord Tennyson's poem, Ulysses. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Thank you.
Kia ora, Councillor Dichi. Councillor East, thank you.
Good morning. Like other councillors, I was humbled and grateful for the level of support I got in being elected to the Christchurch North East Array constituency. I was born into a horticultural family, with my father being one of the larger onion and potato growers in Canterbury. I've lived 50% of my life in a rural environment and the other half in an urban, so I believe I bring quite a balanced view on values of ECan. In terms of my qualifications, I graduated with a degree in geology and geography, and I'm a member of the Institute of Directors. My experience that I would bring to ECan, I started my career as in the North Canterbury Catchment Board in water quality, managed various entities. I'm a registered taxation agent for the last 27 years in a private capacity. And in the Christchurch City Council, I had 15 years experience there, where my major influence was in the regulatory performance area, where I was chair of that committee, resource management activities and health and safety. I sat on the audit and risk council committees for the Christchurch City Council and the Canterbury Development Corporation, and was a director of a number of city council entities, principal ones, Transwaste and the Christchurch Stadium Trust. So what are my aspirations as an elected member for ECan? I campaign fairly strongly on water quality and natural hazards. I'm keen to see a significant improvement in the quality of water in our rivers, lakes, streams and marine environment. The issue of nitrates is a key one for ECan, and I'm very keen to see an achievable, practical, evidence-based solution reached for the benefit of all. I'm a great advocate for a catchment-based approach to the management of natural hazards, water quality, biodiversity, and engineering matters in the ECan region. So I look forward to contributing to a productive and informative next 3 years with ECan. Thank you.
Councillor East, thank you. Councillor Edge, Harbour.
Kia ora. I'm North Canterbury councillor. I'm very grateful to the people of North Canterbury who voted for me so that I could continue to work for them. Constituents were looking for improved engagement and understanding of ECan's work, and I hope to address that this term. I support ECan's 2020 strategic direction, which seeks transformational change, and key issues include climate change adaptation, improving water quality, protection and regeneration of biodiversity, and support for land use change to diversify our local economy. The most exciting aspect of this term will be delivering an integrated regional plan by the end of 2024. This will combine a revised regional policy statement, coastal environment plan, and review the current land and water plan. The plan will incorporate the requirements of the NPS freshwater management and new legislation. I am committed to embracing the co-design planning approach in association with Mana Whenua through our 2-year partnership. In my opinion, integrating Te Ao Māori Indigenous worldview in our planning process will ensure that both tangata whenua and tangata reti values and perspectives are captured and equally shared and understood. This collaborative approach endorses the sentiments made by Minister Parker regarding the RMA changes announced on Tuesday. He said he hopes that Te Oranga o Te Tao, the health and well-being of the environment, will be at the heart of the new Natural and Built Environments Bill. Te Oranga o Te Tao places greater emphasis on understanding the interconnections between different parts of the environment, including people. He says this will help achieve our desired outcomes and better manage cumulative effects. My focus will be to support quality urban growth and transport initiatives and to support development of bespoke, holistic and integrated approaches to whole of catchment systems management in the new plan. Our river management transition from status quo protection philosophy to a climate adaptive multi-values approach requires urgent action in the face of increased frequency and intensity of storm events. Current practices are unsustainable and unaffordable in a climate and ecologically stressed world. And I look forward to working with all councillors, and especially our new and Ngāi Tahu appointed councillors, who I'm sure will make a timely contribution to fostering improvement of the region's environmental outcomes.
Councillor Edge, tēnā koe. Councillor Korako, Haramai, tēnā koe.
Tūtahi o te mihi. Tēnā koto nā po waitaka o tō tātou matu o tipuna. Te kā me nui ki te mihi atu ki tō tātou matu nui te raki, ko e te timataka me te whakauteke o tau katoa, mō reira ka mihi au ki te kai homai o ka me pai katoa. Mō reira, ka hoki nā mau maharatia, a me tō whānau o Bradshaw, me tō whānau o tā tipene. Nō reira e tāre e haere atu rā e te rakatira. E te rakatira e kaitahu kātu mamo i Waitaha. Nō reira e tāre me tō hoka whakairo. E tāre me tō paua o rakatira o te manuhaia ki Waitaha. E nō reira e tāre e haere atu rā ki te pāta whakawairua. E takoto, takoto, takoto. Takoto i rangi māre i rungi tō waka. Hoi atu tō waka ko tua tārai haere. Haere e haere atu rā. E nō reira e mihi atu ka koutou. O karakatira o te kaunihera taio o Waitaha. E mihi atu te whare e tū nei o te whenua o te pātawhito o te kohaka kai awaro mō marumaru a mauka tere e mauka whakaruru hau o nei tū ahururi. E nō reira e mihi atu o te tiamana o te kaunihera taio e te whanaunga e Craig. Mihi atu o te kaihautu o te waka e Stephanie. E koutou rā, a tēnā koutou e mihi atu kia koutou katoa. O ka mihi. E hi ana hau ki te mihi ki te hunga katoa i whakapai kaha i te pire, whakamana mō kaitahu i taia ai ahau te tūki konei tēnei rā o ti rā o te mema o te whare paramata mō te taitonga e rino te rikarne. Nō reira, ko tēnei mihi o te reo Pākehā. I just wanted to, first of all, acknowledge the passing of Tare Bradshaw, who was a rangatira actually across Kaitahu Kātumamo i Waitaha. Tare actually was a carver as well, and particularly if you've been up to Takahanga Marae, that was one of his masterpieces, his contribution. Tare was also instrumental in a lot of different environmental programs down in Murihika in Southland. So I wanted to acknowledge him and his passing, because his passing whakamanas what we are doing here today. I also wanted to acknowledge those who worked tirelessly on the Canterbury Regional Council Ngaitahu Representation Bill, and in particular our Member of Parliament for Te Taitonga Rino Tirikatni. That is the translation of the Mihi. Loreda, my first priority is to acknowledge the representatives of Ngaitahu Whānui who appointed me and allows me to stand here today. Under that mandate as a Ngaitahu appointed ECan councillor, I want to express the continual importance of our Ngaitahu tikaka, mātauraka and Māori within all the major frameworks of ECan, and that I act not only as a caretaker, but as also an implementer, in order that all of our identifiable and tangible cultural aspects are assimilated into the ECan decision-making process in this triennium. Yet the triennium will be challenging also, particularly on issues concerning Te Tiriti and its intersection with the local government review, resource management reform, Te Mana o Te Wai and the Three Waters reform, the Waters Entity Bill and a number of other new legislation and reforms. There will be a need to straddle both sides of political policy introductions and realignments of new ideas, doing this without compromising our own values and perspectives from those that we represent means respecting each other and working in the spirit of kotahitaka. How we front foot this matrix will determine our relationship with the environment and the value of having appointed Ngaitahu ECan councillors and the success of ECan in this triennium. I believe there needs to be a common vision for both mana whenua and tangata tiriti communities, as they are all tied to the regional economy and the environment. My role is to ensure our Ngaitahu leadership are all aligned with that view. I see my role as ensuring more solutions are found to change our Ngaitahu concerns over irrigation and effluent. And I believe that these things can be managed with the appropriate technology and market conditions underpinned by strong Papatupu Runanga relationships. I see that as a very important role as a Ngaitahu ECan councillor. A strong governance role within Te Kaunihera Taio, Ki Waitaha, is paramount. But we must start implementing a closer relationship strategy with the other councils of Te Waiponamu. because in the spirit of kotahitaka, we are stronger together as opposed to working separately. To me, the glue and first step in developing these relationships sits within the rohe of kaitahu ka te mamoi waitaha. I want to start building those relationships with Papatipu and Runanga leadership inside and outside of our own ECan takiwa. And from there, start the consolidation of a Te Waiponamu South Island Kawanataka Waka. This must happen, otherwise we will continue to relinquish our mana to central government in Wellington. O reira, e mihi atu kia koutou.
Tēnā koe, Councillor Korako. So just at this time, Councillor Mackenzie and Councillor Mackay are going to do their speeches in December. So we'll leave that to there, and I'm going to leave mine till the end. So Councillor Robinson, haramai.
Kia ora. I want to thank the constituents of Central Christchurch Ahoko Ward for not only encouraging me, but for allowing me this amazing opportunity on council. I was brought up at latitude 45 degrees south in the southern harbour city of Dunedin. And I come from a long line of strong women from the UK, from England, Scotland, and from France. I grew up surrounded by the royal albatross, the diminishing yellow-eyed penguin population, the New Zealand fur seal and the sea lion, and many other amazing coastal species, including the New Zealand dolphin. I consider myself fortunate to have grown up with this all on my doorstep, and with it, the opportunity to advocate for this totally volatile coastal environment. After moving north to Christchurch on Christmas Day 2011, I became increasingly concerned for our coastal environments, the accumulated pressures faced by its inhabitants, and just how underprotected these were and remain today. We, as a region here in Canterbury, are failing to protect our oceans, our harbours, our estuaries and river mouths, water in general. A fundamental reason why I stand here today is to give these endemic species and water the life it deserves beyond the kelp, a much needed voice. Canterbury's region spans a major part of the eastern coast. The hectares, although the coastal environment is out to 12 nautical miles and part of this council's jurisdiction, we do not have adequate planning and protections in place. I will continue to push for marine protected areas and for increased protections for harbours, estuaries and rivers. Freshwater quality and abundance and how we allocate this freshwater also needs to be at the forefront of decision making, particularly for the Canterbury region. In 2018, my petition against freshwater bottling consents was supported by more than 114,000, giving the public too a chance to voice their frustrations. My promise here today is to do my very best to continue the big fight we have on our hands, and to also wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm here today because of the people, for nature, and for my son. Thank you.
Kia ora, Councillor Robinson. Tēnā koe. Councillor Southworth. Welcome.
Kia ora koutou, ko Vicky Southworth tōku ingoa. I feel hugely privileged to have been returned to this council for a second term, the Orwhanga Christchurch South Rohe. I'm really proud to have supported the Ngāi Tahu representation bill in my last term, and I'm particularly looking forward to working with Mana Whenua around this table on equal terms. I know that we can create a healthy, thriving environment which will support a healthy, thriving community. We have so much going for this place, and yet we have also many problems. I stood because I know that I can contribute and create change for the better. Water and climate are my two top priorities for this term. Fresh water was the single most common concern that was raised by submitters on our last long-term plan submission. And we have the opportunity this term with the essential freshwater package that government's given to us to work on, to deliver on improving our water environment. And that's both for the rural and the urban communities. Climate change is here. We dealt with it last term, several huge floods. Those threats of floods and drought and wildfires are continuing to increase. The threat is only getting bigger. We have to prioritise a response to the climate impacts that also prioritises the resilience, not just of our communities, but also of our environment. New Zealand has some of the most threatened endemic species, animals and plants, and that's really not good enough. It's our responsibility to protect these things and to look after what is so valuable to all of us, because of course we are part of nature. Switching to slightly different tack in terms of climate change, given that we're in Environment Canterbury and the public transport system is absolutely one of our key responsibilities, I will continue to push for improved frequencies and route coverage and investigate on-demand opportunities, because we need accessible public transport for the vast majority of people, which currently isn't the case. It's also really important to recognise that this is tough. We're in tough times. We've had pandemic, we've had floods, and now we've got a cost of living crisis, and that is not lost on me. We have parts of our community that are struggling to even think about next week, let alone what's going to happen in our future. It's so important that we engage with our communities, that we hear from them what's of concern, and then we look for ways to work together. It's really, really hard to look to the future when the present is so challenging, but I put my hand up and I will rise to that challenge. Kia ora.
Kia ora, tēnā koe, Councillor Southworth. Councillor Simon. Kia ora, ora mai.
Morena, Mr. Chairman. I am proud to represent Mid Canterbury, those communities of Selwyn and Ashburton. And I stand here at the beginning of this triennium with nervousness, fear, trepidation, due to the magnitude of work that is being imposed upon us by central government, the work that we need to give effect to, and the magnitude of the effects that will be felt on my communities, our communities, as we work through those processes. National Policy Statement on Freshwater, Te Mana o Te Wai, RMA reforms, climate change, coastal plans, integrated planning processes, how we sit down at a table and work through those challenges with our papatapu runanga, how we build those bridges, how we come out the other side, but most importantly, how we take our communities with us. Because if we are not fair, just and timely in our transitions, we will not take our communities with us, and we will not achieve our outcomes. Fair, just, timely transitions that take our communities with us. What are our communities? We talk about communities. They are our hapu, our whānau, our families, our people, our individuals. And for me, in my communities, our rural communities, they are under significant stress today with everything that is coming at them, not just the stuff we are required to give effect to, but the rest of government works, the environment, the economy, inflation, the challenges that we face. And so we have these challenges of mental health, of substance abuse, of family violence, of suicide attempts, suicide, those challenges in our community. So if we are not fair, just and timely in our processes and transitions, we will exacerbate those challenges. The challenges will be tough enough as they are, but we need to ensure that we get it right. The government has had a balls of te Whaka-Ora, an industry plan put together to give effect to climate change in the real world, turned it around, spat it out, and has created real division. talked about 20% of those farms that we might presume to be the farms that we all aspire to. Sheep and beef farms, some bush, some scrub, some regenerative lands. They're the first ones that will fall over. This council cannot afford in our processes to put those sorts of farms out of business. So I ask, when we consider our future and the work that we have, that we ensure that we are fair, just and timely in our transitions. Thank you.
Kia ora, Councillor Tangu. Aye, Councillor Swiggs, Karamai, welcome.
The first thing that I want to do is acknowledge the support of those people who have elected me here. But it starts with those who stood by me like a Poe in all of the times that have gone by. To Luke and to Bryce for nominating me, and for all of those who voted me here. It's an honour, and it's a responsibility that I take right to my heart, and it's not lost on me. I respect those who stood alongside me for their passion, and also respect those that didn't vote for me. But I'll take all of your views and bring them to this table and consider them with dignity and pride. The journey to this point for me has not always been an easy one. At times, it's one that I wish that nobody ever has to endure. However, I am still alive, and I am here. To get here, I stood not on promises, but on a set of simple principles. To make considered decisions based on trusted and sound data. To navigate the flood of change that's coming towards us. To lead relationships and to build trust. To live by the principles of Te Tere o Waitangi, and the last one is not a principle, but it's a vision and an aspiration that all of our 63 rivers one day will be swimmable. This term is going to be dominated by change and action. How we respond to these and ensure our communities are not left behind in the process is a matter of absolute significance. The decisions that we make and our responses will shape the way that this region and our country operates for decades into the future. As with all things, there's always an elephant in the room. However, in this case, I think the elephant has well and truly left the room. I was going to say divisive politics. However, I'm going to wind one step back and go to the big C, climate. Our climate is in peril. And the immediate responses that we need to make are going to fundamentally change things. We face unprecedented times in our world and in our country, but we cannot look at ourselves in isolation to these things. We do so at our own demise. I arrive here with a diverse range of experiences from within mainstream and marginalised communities, from businesses, from financial backgrounds, and a long list of qualifications, and hopefully a doctorate to come if I can get through 2 AM exams. I am here to use these skills and to serve here alongside so many of the passionate and very skilled people in this room. Again, it's a privilege to be here, and I hope that we can bring all of our skills together, not just in this room, but also in the wider building that we serve. We've got some amazing people, and I am sure that we will make lasting impact that will benefit our peoples and the environment that we need to survive for many years to come. Ngā mihi nui.
Tēnā koe, Councillor Swiggs, tēnā koe. Councillor Ward, welcome.
Kia ora.
Just push the button. Sorry.
Start again. Kia ora. I'm very humbled to be selected as your ECan councillor for the people of South Canterbury. Even though I've been an intensive property and horticulture farmer in South Canterbury for 35 years, I've always had a passion for the environment, the water and the soils. With a particular focus on water management during my farming career, I've been a member of a number of water use committees, river committees, and I'm chairman of Geraldine Water Solutions. Our aim to secure water for local communities, industry and agriculture, an intergenerational approach for future generations. During my time as a councillor, I plan to continue my focus on freshwater management in Canterbury to improve water quality, quantity and allocation. I have concerns over nitrate levels as well. also plan to prioritise adaptation to climate change, recognise the risks, the threats and the opportunities. We need to protect our communities as well as our economy. Focus on pest control and encouraging more biodiversity in our region. We need resilience in our communities and need to realise all the challenges that our people are facing at present. As a council, we need to achieve positive outcomes. I'm looking forward to the challenge of representing you as an ECan councillor and working with all the other councillors. Thank you. Tēnā koe, Councillor Ward. Ai, tēnā koutou, I o koutou kōrero I tēnei ata. I just want to say thank you for everyone's speeches. Ko o tu mātua te maunga, ko huri tini te awa ko te waihora te hapua, ko whakarupo te moana. Ko te urio, o tu rākau tahi I kaipoi, o te raki whakaputa I rāpaki, o turu hiki hiki I taumutu. Ko kaitahu kāti māmoi waitaha nā Timutunga o ku iwi, o Ingarangi, o ko te mana no wera o ku tupuna Pākehā, ko Craig Pauling taku ingoa. Like others, I'm really proud to be re-elected by the people of Christchurch West and to represent the ward of Opuna again. I want to thank again those who voted for me, who supported me and helped me over the last term, but also in the campaign in particular. I acknowledge my wife Janine and my tamariki, Mihi, Meihana and Tainui, and my wider whānau for their ongoing love and support, and being able to do this role and be here. I really enjoyed my first term on Environment Canterbury and I learnt a lot. I'm really proud of some of the things we did, in particular Murirako, getting that program established, re-establishing our formal committees, our standing committees, working with the residents of Yordhurst and Hornby in relation to dust and trying to get some action there, working on the $2 bus fare trial and starting our journey along our integrated planning, as well as, and probably most importantly, our relationship with Ngāi Tahu and Mana Whenua, and working on the Tumutaio roles, getting them in place, and finally the Ngāi Tahu bill, seeing that through. So the last term was lots of achievements, I believe. My driver and focus for returning and for wanting to come back here was really to guide the review and strengthening of all of our planning documents. Others have mentioned it, our land and water plans, our regional policy statement and our coastal plan. This is our greatest opportunity, I believe, to confront the challenges we have around water quality, around biodiversity, climate change. Mai kiuta kitai, from the mountains to the sea. But also acknowledge the work that has been done. The work that we've done over the last 10 years as a region and within our communities doesn't go unnoticed. So I'm really keen to continue this work, to see us strive even further. I want to continue the work with the communities, like I said, in terms of dust, looking at setbacks and mitigation. I want to work with industry and agencies as well, progress our public transport solutions, try and be innovative in that space, in particular our land and asset strategy for the council, and our relationships, of course, with our TLAs, with our runanga, with our non-government groups and industry. He waka eke no. And finally, I want to thank everybody in the room. I want to thank my fellow councillors for supporting me for the deputy role that I'm in, and I'm pleased to do my very best to help us all work together and to achieve and improve outcomes for our region, for our unique flora and fauna, for our communities, and for our unique heritage. Toitu te marae nui a tāne, toitu te marae nui a Tangaroa, toitu te iwi. A tēnā koutou. Well done, everybody. Awesome. Thank you so much for sticking to time and for doing such a great job. Really awesome to hear everyone's aspirations, their challenges, and to see how we can all work together. Really impressed. Thank you so much. We're going to take a little adjournment now for 5 minutes, so we'll return at 12 o'clock. We're just going to let the camera people get out of the room and do their thing. So have a break, have a drink, and we'll see you back here at 12 o'clock. Kia ora koutou. We're going to get back into it now. I know Councillor Cranwell's still coming back, but we'll get on with it. We've got a quorum.
So we've got agenda item 8.2, which is page 14 of your agenda. Chief Executive's report, November 2022. So I'm going to hand over to Stephanie to introduce this.
Ngā mihi nui, and through you, Chair, I will speak to this report which is in front of you. These are regular reports that come to Council very often on matters that have been to Council prior, and this is tidying up from the last triennium. Noting in particular that there has been a lengthy letter sent in response to the Brooklyn Spencerville residents with regard to their petition. As noted in paragraph 7, we spoke a lot in that letter with regard to the nature of the flood protection, what Christchurch City has underway with regard to coastal hazards, also in particular highlighted the Kiutakitai plan and also the funding model. And we encourage those residents to continue engaging with us and us with them. There are no current public forums or deputations that are awaiting a response. And I would just note in this Chief Executive's report, just additionally, the end of triennium matters. Those matters were delegated to me by the previous council. I did not need to make any decisions during that period of time, but for full transparency, I do note paragraph 11, and that is with regard to the decision with regard to the national ticketing scheme and our participation in that. That was delegated to me to progress. That was progressed, and councillors will be aware that that was made public by the minister, and we are now progressing with that piece of work. Thank you, Chair. Back to you.
Kia ora, Stephanie. Does anyone have any questions of clarification? No? So therefore, I'm going to put the motion that the council receives the Chief Executive's report. We'll do it as a block. Notes that a response was provided on 12th of October 2022 to Brooklyn's Spencerville residents to the petition that was presented to council meeting on 18th of August 2022. Notes that there are currently no public forums or deputations requiring response, and notes that no matters of urgent nature were required to be acted on by the Chief Executive under the authorisation made council meeting 22nd of September 2022. Have I got a mover? Councillor Cranwell, seconder, Councillor East. All those in favour say aye. Any against? Carried. Thank you. Okay, we'll move to 8.3, which is on page 16 of your agenda, which is the council resolution status report for November. We've got Catherine, who's available to answer any questions if they arise, but this is fairly procedural. It's all the resolutions from our last term, at the end of the last term, that are outstanding. First of all, I'll ask if there's any questions now. Oh, Grant.
Question on page 23, the bottom item there regarding the Metro bus and Route 17 and 28 service review. It's just inquiring it's indicated that the implementation of those issues have been delayed due to driver shortage, but I was just querying and wonder if we could confirm that the situation regarding the planned procurement of the 7 additional electric buses, and has that been delayed or is it close to being actioned?
Kia ora, Catherine Harbour, do you want to comment?
So through you, Chair. Yes, so we've been waiting for the driver wages resolution. So now that that is in place, we can start to do those contract variations and start to order the buses. So we're hoping to do that before Christmas. We really didn't want to purchase the buses and have them sitting idle. So this is the best economic response to the bus drivers' wages.
Sure. Any other questions? Yeah,
yeah, just a comment on. Thanks, Catherine, for that. Page 21, the middle item there concerning item 2, where the staff's recommended the staff work with Waimakere District Council, Selwyn and other district councils to consider alternative river rating options such as whole of catchment for consideration as part of the long-term plan. Obviously not being progressed yet, but I'm I really endorse and support that recommendation, and hopefully we'll see some action on that in the next few months.
Got a grant. Yeah, Councillor Kent.
Just to make the comment that it actually is being progressed, especially with Selwyn District Council.
Thank you. Yeah. And I'm sure we'll get to that when we do our committees in December. So, kia ora. So I'm going to put the motion now that it's just one motion, yeah, that the council notes the status of the previous resolutions provided in the status of council resolutions report, November 2022. Do I have a mover? Councillor Burns, Councillor Tichy, thank you. All those in favour say aye. Any against? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, 8.4. Previous committee and activities and minutes, page 25 of your agenda. So this is an item looking at the confirmed minutes of some of our committees from the end of the last term. And we've got five different sets of minutes that are all confirmed minutes by those committees. But I am going to allow councillors that were on those in the last term to speak to any of these if they want. First, we'll do that first. We've got the Greater Christchurch Partnership to Council Reg. Do you want to speak to that?
Yes, thanks. Just briefly, this is just a report of the final meeting that we had. Just a couple of things to note here. That one of the really important issues that was discussed was the situation of housing within Greater Christchurch and the need to get on with providing much more housing, affordability, and all those sorts of things within the city. There's an attachment also, so it's basically trying to accelerate affordable housing, social and affordable housing, and finding ways to do that. And mention was made of the spatial plan, the connection between the spatial plan and the Nohanga strategy development, which talks about housing Tuahiwi and Rapaki. So those sort of things need actioning. And there's also a note there on page 29. Some resourcing is required to progress the program of work for mana whenua. And one of the things that the new committee will be looking at is that there will be an attachment, a partners report that will go to inform the new committee when it comes in. But good progress is being made on all sorts of things, but that was certainly an issue regarding resourcing.
About Councillor Edge. Councillor Sonkel, do you want to speak to any of the other minutes there?
Very brief.
Page 25. Yep.
Page 32, the first item is the minutes of the Audit and Finance and Risk Committee. Item 8.2 notes a question around insurance renewals. I can confirm that those renewals are in place and that a paper will be coming to Council in the new year advising of what we have insured for and what we have chosen not to do. And from there we moved into Public Excluded, which will be covered in the PX paper. The next one is the Plan Change 7 Appeals Committee. No matters in that of any importance. It just took us straight to PX. And the third item, 8.44, is the minutes of the Canterbury Civil Defence Emergency Management Joint Committee. Of note in there, item 8.3, the update on flood working groups. They are work groups that have been set up to look at specific issues that have come out of the floods in Ashburton and previous events in earthquakes, looking at transport, rural impacts, needs assessments and the like, with clear lines looking at those issues. Group plan update was a procedural thing that we had to do to bring it into alignment with the law. We gave it a cursory once over And when the new Act, the NEMA Act, comes into play, we will have a full rewrite of that regional plan. This was just to cover ourselves in the interim. And then flood impact research, item 8.5, kind of ties in with the update on the working groups. And one of the things that our chair, Mayor Leanne, would constantly say, lessons learnt are not learnt until they have been actioned. So some of the things that are flowing out in the work plans in civil defence are taking those lessons learnt and actually giving effect to research and putting things in place. That's probably all I have to say on those matters.
Councillor Sunkel. And just the last minutes there are from the Regional Transport Committee. Councillors or Chair Scott and Councillor Apanui from the last term are on that. Just to draw your attention to page 53, which is the research report on transport emissions there. There was also a forward work program update and inter-regional rail, passenger rail thing, speed rules and road monitoring. So just so you know the other things in those minutes there. Unless there's any questions, I'll move that we put the resolutions to the. Oh yeah, Councillor Swiggs. Yep. There you go.
Am I able to ask a question about the report to Grant on one of the matters that he spoke about? Just had a quick question, Grant, on the Greater Christchurch partnership work that you're doing with the housing need, and the other partners that you're working with. Does that include private builders as well? Because I mean, in the last 3 years, I was doing private building and stuff like that, and a lot of the time there was a lot of competition that was pushing prices up. So I was just wondering if you're bringing those people on board as well.
No, I'd say not at this stage. This is our strategy and policy decision making, and it will go towards the development of the spatial plan. But obviously, in our liaison with or partnership with the government, Minister of Housing or Department of Housing, and Transport and Local Government, they're also on board and developing a framework for affordable and social housing. So that's the link to the Greater Christchurch Partnership.
Right, Councillor Swiggs, Councillor Edge. I'm going to put the motion to the council now. So you'll see it on screen there. And I'll read out the first part, but I won't read out the second part. So note that the council notes the minutes and information received in relation to the recent joint, external and limited membership committee meetings. You can see them on the screen there, and we've just discussed them. Do I have a mover? Councillor Swiggs, seconder, Councillor Sunkel. All those in favour, say aye. Any against? No, thank you. Carried. 8.5, and I'm just been told lunch is at 12:30, so hopefully we get through this and we might be able to go for lunch. Yeah. So 8.5 is on page 68, and it's in relation to just the outstanding resolutions from some of those committees, previous committees. So I'm going to ask Catherine to come and introduce the report.
Tēnā koutou. At the end of last Triennium, we discharged some committees, and there were some outstanding resolutions still sitting within those committees' work programs. And so the last meeting of the Triennium, we brought those into the council, and this is now giving visibility to you as the new council of those outstanding matters. And when the committees that are appropriate for these are formed, these resolutions will go out to those committees. It's just to make sure we retain visibility of.
Cool, thank you, Catherine. Has anyone got any questions of the three reports there? Anybody? No, thank you. Thank you, Catherine. I'll put the recommendation to the council that the council notes the resolutions of the council committees that are outstanding at the end of the Triennium: Audit, Risk, Finance, Audit, Finance and Risk Committee, Regional and Strategic Leadership Committee, Air Quality, Transport and Urban Development Committee. Do I have a mover? Councillor Ward, seconder, Councillor Edge. All those in favour say aye. Any against? Carried, thank you. Well, we're going to keep going then. Agenda 8.6, which is the establishment of committees and appointments, starts on page 75, and I think before lunch it would be a good idea if we'll do the voting system stuff, Catherine, so we can get that done. And then we'll go from there. So Catherine's going to introduce the report. We'll speak about the voting system, and then I'll talk about how the resolutions are going to roll in terms of the order of them. So, kia ora, Catherine.
Thank you again. This is a paper that has the establishment of some of the committees of council and appointing councillors to roles within those committees. The first step in that is to establish the voting system, and the Local Government Act provides two options around voting systems. A is election by majority of members, and B is by the greatest number of votes. We have an updated staff recommendation. In the paper, we presented the two options there. Our recommendation updated is that voting system B is chosen due to the multiple people required for various committees, and this will allow you to move through that process while still respecting the wishes of the council. And our recommendation is that you start with looking at voting system B, which would then mean that you'd choose number 3, which is the event of a tie under voting system B. If that fails, then we would move to voting system A, and you have to choose one of those two as a recommendation. So I'm happy to take any questions around that, but I think that's the information about voting systems. It's similar to what we did at the last meeting.
Ora, Catherine. Any questions of clarity? Happy? And so we'll go through those motions, and based on that staff recommendations, I'm going to put recommendation 1.2 first, which you'll see there on page 75. And then we'll do that first, and then we'll do the subsequent resolution after that. So happy to put that to council, that the council chooses 1.2 voting system B, election by the greatest number of votes for the election of committee chair, committee deputy chair, and committee members. Do I have a seconder? Right, we'll move it. Yeah, Councillor Cranwell, seconder, Councillor Burns. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? No, thank you. Carried. We have to then pass motion 3, which is about in the event of a tie. So I'll put that so that we agree that in an event of a tie under voting system B, the candidate to be elected shall be resolved by lot as described in item 6 of this report. Any mover? Have a mover for that? Councillor Edge, a seconder. Councillor Robinson. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? Carried. Thank you. So in terms of the order in the paper, we have the first standing committee is Audit Risk Finance Committee, resolution 4, but I'm proposing to just change the order of these motions and bring some forward to just progress us through a bit and to do the ones that have straight appointments first. And that would move us to resolution 10, to start with resolution 10. And we'll do as many of these as we can before 12:30, before we break for lunch, if everyone's okay with that. So that would be moving to page 76. And just got to find my way in here. And dealing with the Chief Executive Employment, Performance and Remuneration Committee. So if everyone's found their place, I've just got to find mine, sorry. So we have resolutions there, and you'll notice that in your papers they're blank, but we have updated resolutions. So the first one is number 10, and I can bring that up on screen in a second. And that is establishes pursuant to Schedule 7, Clause 31 of the Local Government Act 2002, the Chief Executive Employment, Performance and Remuneration Committee, and adopts the terms of reference attached in 8.6.2. I'll move that. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Mackenzie, thank you. All those in favour say aye. Any against? Carried, thank you. If we go to 11, that motion is, and I'll move this, appoints the councillor chair, Chair Scott, as a member of the and committee chair of the Chief Executive Employment, Performance and Remuneration Committee. Do I have a seconder? Councillor. Buttons off. Sorry, Claire. And sorry, others online. And Next, we've got number 12, which is the rest of the members of this committee. And so I won't move that, but I'll put it that we appoint to the Chief Executive Employment, Performance and Remuneration Committee as members, Deputy Chair Pauling, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor Cranwell and Councillor Mackay. Do I have a mover? Councillor Sunkel. Seconder? Councillor East. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? No, motion carried. Thank you. Okay. The last one of that set is that we agree that the Chief Executive Employment, Performance and Remuneration Committee will meet on 28th of October. Do I have a mover? Oh, November, sorry, November, 28th of November. Councillor Burns and Councillor Ward. All those in favour, say aye. Any against? Motion carried. Thank you. The next one is the Regulation Hearing Committee. So you'll note there in the thing that this was not discharged. So we've got a motion there. I'm wondering if we can take those two as a block together. Are people happy to do that? And I'm not going to read them all out. You've got them on screen there and in the agendas. So motion 14 and 15 together. Do I have a mover? Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor East, seconder. All those in favour say aye. All those against say no. Oh, true, because you're in there. Okay, so Councillor Mackenzie as the mover and Councillor Cranwell as the seconder, noting that Councillor East is one of the councillors put forward on the committee. Thank you for that. We got that recorded. Okay, all those in favour say aye. Any against? Thank you, motion carried. Thank you. The next item is about the chair of that committee. And I'm going to put this to the committee, having spoken to Councillor Mackay, and that we appoint from the councillors elected to the Regional Hearing Committee, Councillor Mackay as the Regional Hearing Committee Chair. Do I have a mover for that? Councillor Mackenzie. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Edge. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? No, motion carried. Thank you. For the deputy of that, this is a bit tricky. I was going to do that, but is that all right to move? Or someone else will move it, won't they? Yeah. So I'll put the motion. Appoints from the councillors elected to the regulation.
Yep. Sorry.
Sorry. Do I?
No, hang on, it's gone again.
Councillor Edge. Thank you. So mover is Councillor Korako. Seconder is Councillor Edge. All those in favour say aye. All those against say no. Thank you. Motion carried. And the last one in terms of this committee is that we agree that the Regulation Hearing Committee will meet on the 24th of November 2022, probably at 8:30 a.m. No, just joking. Do I have a mover? Councillor Sunkel, seconder. Councillor Burns. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? Thank you. Motion carried. Okay. Plan Change Hearing Committee, motion 19. So we'll take these together if we can. Does that look okay to everybody? Take them together. So the first one there is that we're noting that the previous council at its meeting on 13th of April 2022 resolved that the Plan Change Appeals Committee not be discharged at the end of the Triennium, and that Councillor Sunkel, who was appointed to that committee, has returned this Triennium and will continue until the time the new council makes its own appointments. So that's 19, and then appoints to the Plan Change 7 Appeals Committee as members Councillor Sunkel, Councillor Pauling and Councillor East. Do I have a mover? Councillor Cranwell. Seconder, Councillor Mackenzie. All those in favour say aye. All those against say no. Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, we're getting there. For this one, number 21, it's about the chair of that committee. I haven't spoken to Councillor Sunkel, but yeah.
Limited business.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay, yeah, you want to do that? Okay, cool. We're going to put that straight into the amendment then. Is everyone happy with that? You happy, Councillor East? Is that okay? I don't know. I'm just going to go for it. So we're going to put that into the amendment, the resolution there. Appoints from the councillors elected to the Plan Change 7 Appeals Committee, Councillor David East as a Plan Change 7 Appeals Committee Chair. Do I have a mover? Councillor Diche, seconder. Councillor Burns. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against, say no. Okay, motion carried. Thank you. And the last one on that block is that we agree that the Plan Change 7 Appeals Committee meet as required. Do I have a mover for that? Councillor Burns, thank you. Seconder, Councillor Southworth. Those in favour, please say aye. Any against? Motion carried. Thank you. Whoa, we're getting there. I'm going to have a little drink of water. Is that okay? True, we're getting through it. It's really good. Okay, the next one is number 23, and that's on page 77 of the agenda. And this is the Regional Transport Committee. So we might be able to take it as a bit of a block here if we can bring the others up. Can you do that? Cool. So we've got 23, 24, and then 25. Then there's 26 and 27. We might be able to do them all at once. Let's have a look if we can bring them up on screen. '26 and 27 are noting resolutions. The first one, 23, is establishing the committee pursuant to the Land Transport Management Act. The second one, 24, is about appointing Chair Scott as the committee chair. And then appointing to 25, appointing to the Regional Transport Committee Councillor Edge as committee deputy chair, and then the two noting resolutions there that we have delegated responsibility to appoint members, and that the chair and deputy chair are offered membership to the South Island Regional Transport Committee as well as prescribed in the collaboration charter. Is everyone
Move 23 through 27.
Mover, Councillor Davies, seconder. All those in favour, say aye. Any against? Motion carried. Thank you. Next up is the Civil Defence Emergency Management Joint Committee. Looking on the screen, I'm wondering if we can take them all together at 31. Oh, sorry. So people keep switching these on and then turns me off here. Sorry. So just repeating that, we got 20 resolution 28, and we've actually got 29, 30, and 31A. And we've also got an amendment 31B. But what I'll propose, maybe we'll take 28 through 30 first. We'll do that one first, and then we'll do the other ones after that. And that's on page, where are we? 78, I think. Yep, 78 of. And we'll do this one, and then we're going to have lunch. All good? Halfway. Resolution 28 is about noting that the Canterbury Civil Defence Emergency Management Group Joint Committee is a permanent committee required by statute. 29 notes that the Canterbury Regional Council is required to appoint either the council chair or one councillor to the Canterbury Civil Defence Emergency Management Group. And 30 delegates to the appointed councillor, if it is not the chair, the authority to act for the council chair in performance of this role. And because we have someone who's not the chair up for this, we're going to pass that motion 30 there. So do I have a mover and a seconder for 28 through 30? People happy to do that? Councillor McKenzie and Councillor Edge as a seconder. All those in favour say aye. Any against? Carried. Thank you. And then we'll go to 31A and B. We want to do them separate, 31A and then 31B separate. Do them together? Okay, people are happy with it together. So the first one is to, I'll move this, that we appoint to the Canterbury Civil Defence Emergency Management Group Joint Committee, Councillor Sunkel as a committee member, and B, notes that the Canterbury Civil Defence Emergency Management Joint Committee terms of reference have provision to invite observers to attend its meeting. You can see that in brackets there, and that the Canterbury Regional Council supports CDM group inviting Councillor Davies in this capacity. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Swiggs. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? No, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, we're going to have an adjournment for lunchtime. I don't. Oh, what time? What do we normally have? Half an hour? 1 o'clock? Everyone happy with 1 o'clock? Yeah. Or do you want a shorter one? 1 o'clock? 1 o'clock. Cool. Okay, we'll see you back at 1 o'clock. Thank you. Kia ora, councillors. It's 1 o'clock. We're gonna reconvene, sorry, reconvene. So thank you. And we're gonna pick up things for the Canterbury Waste Management, Canterbury Waste Group. Just trying to think what page that's on. Oh, yeah, 78 of your agendas. Oh no, yeah, the bottom of 78, sorry. And that's another committee. Can we bring the motions up on? This is another joint committee we have with all the TLAs in Canterbury dealing with waste. We bring up 37 as well. And Councillor Davies. Other position. Oh, yeah. So if we can bring that up all together, we might be able to do that as one. So we've got resolution 35, 36 and 37 on the Canterbury Waste Joint Committee. So the first one is noting that the Canterbury Regional Council has been invited and agreed to rejoin the Canterbury Waste Joint Committee, so that's good, with the entitlement of appointing 2 councillors to the committee. We note that the constituting agreement of the Canterbury Waste Joint Committee is in the process of being amended and ratified by member councils. And in anticipation of that, we appoint to the Canterbury Waste Joint Committee as committee members Councillor East and Councillor Davies. Do I have a mover for that? Councillor Edge, Councillor Diche, thank you. So mover and seconder. All those in favour say aye. Any against? Carried. Thank you. Okay, on to motion or resolution 38, and that's on page 79. And again, hopefully we can take these all together right down to 42. But we'll do 38. Well, let's do them all together, I think. Yep, so we've got 38, 39, 40, 41 and 42. And this is all of our appointments to the Canterbury Water Management Strategy Zone Committees. And just in particular, just note number 42 there, which is just notes the intention of Hurunui District Council to establish their Land and Water Committee that they're doing. So just noting that. And also that the local authorities and Runang members have their own representatives on these committees as well. So, yeah, Councillor Davies is happy to move. Any seconder? Councillor Ward. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? Carried. Thank you. Cool. And now we're going backwards, sorry, to resolution N. Oh, no, sorry, resolution 4. I think it is, or 5. Sorry, let me just catch up. Of resolution 5. Oh, 4. Yeah. Cool. Resolution 4. Now, I'm just ask Catherine McMillan to just take us through the updated amendments to the resolution. So bring them up on screen, please, as well.
Thank you. There's three matters to raise with this, and I'm just going to wait till the resolutions get up so you can see how we have proposed an amendment to the staff recommendations. The updates to the terms of reference need to be further reviewed, and so the updated staff recommendation is that we retain the current terms of reference with at least A as an amendment and potentially B. So amendment A is around removing the words at least one tūmataya mana whenua member, which we had in the last triennium, but we no longer have, so that would not be appropriate to retain. And 4B is to make a further amendment. At the moment, the terms of reference say at least 5 councillors, and the recommendation there is to remove the at least 5 councillors and replace that with the word 6 councillors as per the tabled terms of reference which you received separately. So that's number one matter. I'm just going to go through each of these three and then you can ask me questions and we'll work our way through. The second matter is in number 5. We'd initially noted that the terms of reference provided for an independent member to be appointed, and with the potential change to the reverting to the previous terms of reference, then we're proposing an update to this resolution. We currently have in the last triennium had 2 independent members, Graham Naylor and Graham McGlynn, and so this updated resolution is to provide for the independent members to be appointed to Audit, Finance and Risk Committee, and to reappoint Graham Naylor until his term ends on the 31st of December 2022 under the same terms and conditions, to reappoint Graham McGlynn until 31 March 2023. His current term ends the 31st of December 2022, and so we're proposing that he would continue for an additional 3 months, and we'd undertake a recruitment process as required under the terms of reference, and that would just provide the continuity through for that committee while it worked through the process of reviewing the independent members and requirements. The third matter is in number 6. Because this is a committee with multiple members requiring to be appointed, the chair will at the appropriate time call for nominations and seconders for members of AFRC. And depending on the decision on the terms of reference around your number of members, in the event that more than 6 members are nominated, if you choose 4B, then the members will vote with successful nominations entered into the recommended resolution in 6, and that will become 6A, B, C, D, E and F, and each councillor will then be voted on separately. So the initial process will be nominations and seconded and choosing through the voting system. We agreed voting B to get those 6, but then each of those 6 will then be presented as a separate matter. So it will give you the option of endorsing or not each individual member of the committee.
Thank you, Catherine. Any questions? Yep.
Just the question of clarification. That's a slightly different voting mechanism than what we discussed yesterday, whereby we would individually list the 6 and then we would tally up the votes and the people with the majorities would.
That's still going to happen, Joe. So we're still doing that process. We'll open nominations, have a mover and seconder for the positions on the AFARC committee, and then everyone will do their 6 votes. That's what we do. For resolution 6, we're going to take A, B, C, D for those councillors to confirm each one once we've done that voting. So that's just how we're going to do that. Yep. Councillor East.
So under 4B, if we choose not to remove the words at least 5, we could have another amendment, just taking the proposed number that had been suggested yesterday.
Yeah, if 4B fails, yeah. If 4B doesn't fail, then that's what it will be. Yep. Everyone understand that?
If I might clarify, if 4B fails, you effectively can have as many as you would like to appoint to that committee.
An amendment can be proposed by a member. Yeah. Are we clear? Good. Okay. So what I think we should do is go back to 4A and B. Do we want to take them separately or together? Separately? Okay, let's do that. Okay. So 4A. So this is just establishing, pursuant to Schedule 7 of the Local Government Act, the Audit, Finance and Risk Committee, and with an amendment to the membership and quorum section 1 of the terms of reference, removing the words at least one Timatanga Mana Whenua member as per the table of terms of reference as explained. Mover, Councillor Cranwell, seconded Councillor Burns. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? Motion carried. Okay, 4B. So this makes a further recommendation to the table terms of reference to the membership and quorum section by removing the words at least 5 councillors and replacing this with the words 6 councillors as per the table terms of reference. Is there a mover? Councillor Davies, seconder, Councillor Burns. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Any against? Okay, how many? Yep. You raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. Motion carried. Oh, do you want them noted? No? Fine. Okay, motion carried. Okay, we'll go to 5. So this is about our independent members of the committee. So you can see it on screen there. We've had it explained to us by Catherine. A mover for that, Councillor Sunkel, seconder, Councillor Edge. All those in favour, say aye. Aye. Any against? No, motion carried. Thank you. Well done. Okay, now we'll move to, which will become 6. So the first process, as we explained, I'll call for nominations for councillors that want to be on this committee. So I'll open that up now and you can move and second. Oh, sorry, just give us a moment to get ourselves sorted up here. So to be clear, 4B was passed, so that's looking for 6 members at the end. Yeah. Are you ready now, Chair?
Yeah. A motion is something that we help with actually the names. Yeah.
Start moving. Move Councillor Korako. Yep. Councillor Bramwell and Councillor Burns. And Councillor East, what was your, what are you moving? Councillor Mackenzie. And your seconder. Councillor East, Councillor Sunkel moving, Councillor Mackenzie. I move Councillor Edge. Yep. So Councillor Edge moved by Councillor Burns and seconder. Seconder. Councillor Sunkel. Yeah, Councillor Mackenzie. Councillor Mackenzie. I'll push your button.
Could I propose Councillor Sunkel and Councillor East?
Clear, so Councillor Mackenzie and Councillor, and so moved by Councillor Mackenzie, seconded by Councillor Ward, the nomination of Councillor Sunkel, and moved by Councillor Mackenzie and seconded by Councillor Ward, Councillor East. Yeah.
Nominate Councillor Southworth.
Councillor Edge. Councillor Southworth. And seconded.
Second, Councillor Burns.
Korako, oh, sorry, can you push your button?
I nominate Councillor Swiggs.
Councillor Korako nominating Councillor Swiggs, the seconder. Councillor Ward. We keeping up? Cool, thank you. Councillor Burns.
I'll second.
Councillor Davies, sorry, and Councillor Burns. So moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Davies is Councillor Robinson. Anyone else? Oh, true, yeah. Thank you. Is that the end of nominations? Cool, thank you. So now the process is that I'm going to go around the room alphabetically again, sorry. Just the fairest way to do it. And to ask for your 6 votes, please. Everyone ready? Happy? So first up, and just wait a second. You guys ready? Cool. So Councillor Burns. Oh, can you push your button, Greg? Start again.
Yes, yeah, normally so loud. Shall I start again? Councillor Southworth, Councillor Korako, Councillor Edge, Councillor Robinson, Councillor Sunkel. Just making sure I've got everything on my. Sorry about this. This is up there. Sorry. Southworth. I've got Southworth, haven't I? Who else we got? Korako. Mackenzie, Councillor Mackenzie.
Thank you, Councillor Burns. Just confirm that that's 6. Cool, everyone happy? Councillor Cranwell.
Kia ora koutou, Councillor Korako, Councillor Sunkel, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor Edge, Councillor Southworth, and Councillor Robinson.
Just thank you, Councillor Cranwell. Just confirm that's 6. Did you get them? Cool. Yeah. Thank you. Councillor Davies.
Councillor Sunkel, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor Robinson, Councillor Southworth, Councillor Edge, and Councillor Korako.
Thank you. Just confirming that that's 6. Cool. Councillor East. Oh, sorry, Councillor DJ. Sorry. Sorry, mate.
That's going to go on all.
I think it's because of the East just pops out of it now.
Councillor Korako, Councillor Edge, Councillor Sunkel, Councillor Southworth, and Councillor Robinson. Is that it?
I've got one more, Councillor. Thank you. That's 6. Councillor East now. I'll push your button. Sorry.
Councillor Sunkel, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor East, Councillor Swiggs, Councillor Korako, Councillor Southworth.
Yep, confirming that. Cool, thank you, Councillor East. Councillor Edge.
Councillor Korako, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor Edge, Councillor Sunkel, Councillor Southworth, and Councillor Robinson.
Thank you. Is that 6? Councillor Korako.
Councillor Sunkel, Councillor Sweeks, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor East, Councillor Karako, and Councillor Southwood.
Thank you. Is that 6?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you. Councillor Mackenzie.
Councillor Karako, Mackenzie, Sunkel, East, Swiggs and Robinson.
Thank you. That's 6.
Yes.
Thank you. Councillor Mackay. You just give Claire a second to jump online. She's there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you.
Karako, Mackenzie, Sunkel, Swiggs, East.
One more if you want. Don't have to do it.
I'll leave it at there. Thank you.
Okay. Fair enough. We can do that. Yeah, cool. All good. Just checking. Thank you, Claire. Councillor Mackay. Councillor Robinson.
Councillor Korako, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor Edge, Councillor Sunkel, Councillor Southworth, and Councillor Robinson.
Thank you. Just confirming 6. Thank you. Councillor Southworth.
Councillor Korako, Councillor Edge, Councillor Sunkel, Councillor Southworth, Councillor Swiggs, Councillor Robinson.
Thank you. Is that 6? Thank you. Councillor Sunkel.
Councillor Sunkel. Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor East, Councillor Karako, Councillor Swiggs, and Councillor Southworth.
Thank you. That's 6.
Yes.
Thank you. Councillor Swiggs.
Korako, Mackenzie, Edge, Sunkel, East, and Swiggs.
Is that 6 happy, or it doesn't have to be, but it's checking that it's not more than 6. Just give us a second.
Can we repeat that one, please?
Yeah, can you just?
Korako, Mackenzie, Edge, Sunkel, East, and me.
Just repeat it slowly again. Thank you.
East, and me. Swiggs. What's that? Yeah. I'll swear if I need to.
Thank you, Councillor Swiggs. Councillor Ward.
Rako, Mackenzie, Sunkel, East, Swiggs, and Southwood.
Everyone's going fast. Yeah. Did you manage to get them, or do you want Councillor Ward to repeat it? You happy? Cool, thank you. That leaves me, Councillor Sunkel, Councillor Edge, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor Southworth, Councillor Swiggs, Councillor Robinson. So we'll give you a moment. We might just have a slight pause to give these guys a chance to count that up. Well, I think we've got our three adjudicators here adding up professionally, so we'll just give them a moment. Do we have to adjourn, or no? Just hold. Yeah. Anticipation.
It is.
Here's an update. So we have 4 members that are clear. Councillor Sunkel, Councillor Southworth, Councillor Mackenzie and Councillor Korako. And then we have 3 that are tied on 9, and that's Councillor Swiggs, Councillor Robinson and Councillor Edge. So we're just trying to work out the process for, so just give us a second about how we break that tie. Yeah. What's that? Yeah. Oh, yeah, do it to the meeting. Yeah, do it to the meeting.
Since we have we've got one that has not reached the number, so they're going to drop off anyway, and then we have 3 that are on the same number, then we need to draw 2 names out of the hat of those 3 people. The voting system says if there's a tie, then it's drawn out of a hat. Well, actually not out of a hat. It says it's drawn by ballot, and we use the white bucket. I would suggest that for the person to do that, you may want to ask our acting general counsel to be the person who would actually select the names out of the hat. And if you could just check that the names in the bucket are the appropriate names, and then look away and scrunch them around and choose 2.
Councillor Edge. What? Oh, are you going to draw 2 names out? Yeah. Oh, so drawn out of the hat were Councillor Edge and Councillor Robinson. So we're going to enter those names in. So just to confirm, can you pass me your sheet? So the names that will be entered into Resolution 6 are Councillor Sunkel, Councillor Southworth, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor Korako, Councillor Edge and Councillor Robinson. And that becomes 6A, 6B, 6C, 6D, 6E and 6F. Just give that a bit of a moment to get up on screen. Now I am going to ask if everyone's happy to take this as a block. If not, we can do them separately. But what's the general feeling on taking it as a block? Everyone most are happy? Yeah? No one's against? Cool. Well, let's take them as a block. That'll be a bit easier. And could I have someone? I'll move it. I'll move it. Is there a seconder to that? Councillor Davies. All those in favour say aye. Any against? Councillor Swiggs. You want it recorded? Yep, we can do that. Cool. Thank you. Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, we move on to the appointments of chair and deputy chair for the committee. So again, I'll call for nominations for the chair of Audit, Finance and Risk Committee. We can have movers and seconders, and they can speak if they wish. And then at the end of that, oh, sorry, Ian, do you have a question? Oh, you're going to move someone. Okay, just give me a second. And then the candidates, whoever they are, can speak as well. What's the time? 5 minutes? Just a general happy, if you want. Okay, so I open it up for nominations now.
Could I nominate Councillor Sunkel?
Do I have any others? Thank you. So Councillor Burns is moving. Councillor Edge, do I have a seconder? Councillor Cranwell. Are there any other nominations for chair? No. Close nominations there, if that's a thing. And if the mover, if Ian, if you want to speak, do you want to speak to your, no, you're happy? The seconder want to speak? No? Okay, does the mover want to speak for, no? Seconder? No? Do the candidates want to speak?
Very briefly to take the opportunity, I have led and chaired this committee for the last 4 years, and as you have been briefed, we are in the midst of considerable change and challenges as we move the organisation forward, particularly around the audit and risk process. It's a place for folk that have a real interest in audit and particularly risk and the statutory requirements of what we are required to do as a committee. So having had that background, having taken the Institute of Directors courses and constant regular seminars from the Audit Office, I would like to continue that role of uplifting the Audit and Risk Committee, taking it to a place where it needs to be to, I guess, challenge and ensure that this organisation is safe going into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sunkel. Councillor Edge.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to say a few things. Like most politicians, we get appointed to committees because we are considered competent and capable to understand the nature of the portfolio, the responsibilities of office, and an ability to comprehend technical matters. We have an extraordinarily talented staff managing financial and risk matters. They have sought advice, prepared future programs of work to improve our management, and we are on a journey of improvement. And I know that the members of the committee equally want to progress. I want to explore our risk appetite for investment, consider opportunities, whether they be capital, community focused or environmental. Whatever we do, it must take us into the future and leave an enduring legacy. A legacy that reduces the cost burden for our ratepayers. I want to keep councillors and the public more informed about what we spend rates money on and where. This is a time for change, and my style of leadership will be inclusive, open and informative, embracing good ideas from staff and councillors, and I want to build a climate of respect, integrity and inquiry, and I'm up for the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Edge. So what we'll do now is we'll go around the room again and just call out your vote, and we'll record that. So Councillor Burns, Councillor Edge, Councillor Cranwell, Councillor Davies, Councillor DJ, got it right this time. Councillor East, Councillor Edge, Councillor Korako, Councillor McKenzie, Councillor Mackay online.
Sunkel.
Councillor Robinson. Did you get that? Thank you. Councillor Southworth.
Councillor Edge.
Councillor Sunkel. Councillor Swiggs. Thank you. Councillor Ward. And mine is Councillor Edge. Okay. So the result was 8, Councillor Edge, 7 to Councillor Sunkel. We'll enter that in. So recommendation 7 becomes appoints from the councillors elected to the Audit, Finance and Risk Committee, Councillor Edge as the Audit, Finance and Risk Committee Chair. Do I have a mover? Oh, I'll move that from the Chair. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Robinson. All those in favour, please say aye. All those against? You want that recorded? You want yours recorded? Just you, Councillor. Was there 2? It's David East and Councillor East and Councillor Mackenzie. So the next matter is to the election of deputy chair. So again, call for nominations. Are there any nominations for deputy chair?
Can I nominate Councillor Sample? Okay, kia ora.
Are there any other nominations? No. So if there's not, do we just duly elect? Oh, we'll enter John's name into the motion. So resolution 8 becomes, and I'll move that from the chair, appoints from the councillors elect to the Audit, Finance and Risk Committee, Councillor Sunkel as the Audit, Finance and Risk Committee Deputy Chair. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Southworth. All those in favour say aye. All those against say no. No one against. Thank you, carried. We've got one more to do as part of this. So the last resolution is agrees that the Audit, Finance and Risk Committee will meet on 8th of December 2022. I'll move that. Any seconder? Councillor Edge. Thank you. All those in favour say aye. Any against? Carried. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move to number 32, I think it is, from memory, which is on page 78 of the agenda. And it's the Greater Christchurch Partnership Committee. And just noting that the Greater Christchurch Partnership Committee Memorandum of Agreement 2021 states that the committee membership will have a membership of 18 comprising of 17 voting members and 1 non-voting member made up as follows. It's abbreviated. Number 2, the chair and 2 council members of the Canterbury Regional Council. So in terms of the resolutions we have in front of us, the first one 32 and the second one 33, if we can take them together. First one's noting that Jim Palmer is appointed independent chair, and that is of both the Christchurch Partnership Committee and the Whaka-Ora group, and that we appoint Chair Peter Scott to the Greater Christchurch Partnership Committee and Whaka-Ora Urban Growth Partnership for Greater Christchurch. I'm happy to move that. Have I got a seconder?
Yep, second.
Oh, sorry, Claire, you have a question? Oh, you're currently on mute, but your hand's down. Sorry. Okay. So moved and seconded, Councillor Korako. All those in favour, say aye. Any against? Carried. So we'll move on to 34, which is appointing the members. But to do this, we'll open up nominations again for the 2 members to go on alongside Councillor Scott, Chair Scott. Me. Yeah.
I'd like to move Councillor Edge.
Councillor Davies moving Councillor Edge. And a seconder, sorry. Councillor DJ, yep.
Councillor Southwood.
Councillor Burns.
I'll second that.
Sorry, Councillor Southworth. Councillor East. Swiggs. And Councillor Mackenzie. Any other nominations? No. So again, as we did previously, now that we've got have we got those names on screen? Thank you very much. So in this case, there's 2 positions. We've got 3 people. So we'll go around the room again, and you can cast your 2 votes for your 2 candidates. Councillor Burns. Councillor Edge. Councillor Cranwell. Edge. Southworth. Councillor Davies.
Edge, Southworth.
Councillor Disha.
Edge, Southworth.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Edge.
Edge, Southworth. Edge, Southworth.
Councillor Korako. Thank you. Councillor McKenzie.
Swicks.
Councillor Mackay.
Swigs.
Sorry, Councillor Robinson.
Edge and Southworth.
Councillor Southworth.
Edge, Southworth.
Councillor Sunkel. Councillor Swiggs. Councillor Ward. Got them. And mine's Councillor Edge and Southworth. Okay, just repeating that. 8 for Councillor Edge, 8 for Councillor Southworth, and 7 for Councillor Swiggs. So 34 will read. I'm happy to move that. Appoints to the Greater Christchurch Partnership Committee and Whaka-Ora Urban Growth Partnership for Greater Christchurch, Councillor Edge and Councillor Southworth. Is there a seconder? Councillor Davies. All those in favour, say aye. Any against?
Against.
Councillor Mackay, do you want that recorded?
Thank you.
And down, Swiggs. And Ian, Kenzie.
And Councillor East.
And Councillor East.
And Councillor Korako.
And Councillor Korako. Anyone else against? We got all them? Thank you. Motion carried. I think that's 8.6 done. Is that right? Thank you. Shall we move on to 8.7? And that's our appointment of Partnership Fora, Councillors to Partnership Fora. So that's on page 92 of the agenda. And Catherine, can you introduce this, please?
Thank you. There are a range of other bodies that we appoint councillors to that range from committees within Environment Canterbury as well as other partnership groups and other groups that we also work with. And so this is a list of those ones we're doing and recommending to happen at this time. And I'm just going to leave them at that so that you can work your way through them. I'm happy to explain any of the groups in any more detail as you reach through that process if you would like.
Thank you, Catherine. Anyone got any questions? Thank you. First one up is recommendation 1, and that is Te Rōpū Tuia, which is pretty simple. That's all of us are on it. So the recommendation confirms that the continuation of the Te Rōpū Tuia Governance Forum and appoints all councillors to it. Do I have a mover? Councillor Edge, seconder. Councillor Sunkel. All those in favour? Any against? Carried. Thank you. Number 2 is the Te Waihora Co-Governance Group. And there's 2 appointments to this. And so if we can take 2 and 3 together. people are happy. So the first one is notes that under the Te Waihora Co-Governance Agreement dated January 2019, clause 10.3b, the Canterbury Regional Council Chair becomes co-governor and co-chair of the Te Waihora Co-Governance Group by virtue of office. That's just noting. But also under the Te Waihora Co-Governance Agreement dated January 2019, clause 10.3a, can appoint other councillors, doesn't have to be the chair, and appoints Councillor Pauling and Councillor Cranwell as the two regional council members to represent Environment Canterbury as the Te Waihora Co-Governors. Do I have a mover? Councillor Robinson. Seconder. Councillor Korako. All those in favour? Any against? Carried. Thank you. Biosecurity advisory groups. So we have 4 groups here, one in the north, one in central Canterbury, one in Christchurch and Banks Peninsula, and one in the south, in South Canterbury. And if we can take these all together, that is appointing Councillor Edge to represent Environment Canterbury to the North Canterbury Biosecurity Advisory Group, Councillor Diche to the Environment Canterbury on represent Environment Canterbury on the Central Canterbury Biosecurity Advisory Group, Councillor Burns to represent Environment Canterbury on the Christchurch and Banks Peninsula Biosecurity Group, and Councillor Ward to represent Environment Canterbury on the South Canterbury Biosecurity Advisory Group. Do I have a mover? Councillor Southworth, seconder. Councillor Cranwell. All those in favour, please say aye. Any against? Carried. Thank you. Canterbury Biodiversity Champions. This is a group that works with all the other TLAs in Canterbury on biodiversity matters. And the motion is to appoint Councillor Pauling to represent Environment Canterbury on the Canterbury Biodiversity Champions. Do I have a mover? So Councillor Korako, Councillor Edge moved and seconded. All those in favour? Any against? Carried. Next is number 9, Canterbury Mayoral Forum. Pretty simple, this one. Notes that the Environment Canterbury Chair becomes a member of the Canterbury Mayoral Forum by virtue of office, which is Councillor Scott. I'm happy to move that. Is there a seconder? Councillor Ward. All those in favour? Any against? Motion carried. Thank you. Next is number 10, Environment Canterbury Youth Rōpū. And there's no limitation on this committee or group. And at the moment, we have 4. Is there any others that wish to be on this? No. So motion 10 will be appoints councillors to liaise with the Youth Rōpū. Any number of councillors may be appointed, and we've got Councillor Burns, Councillor Diche, Councillor Pauling, and Councillor Southworth. Do I have a mover? Councillor Cranwell. Seconder. Councillor Robinson. All those in favour, say aye. Anyone against? Carried. Next one is number 11. And just so you know where we are, we're on page 93. This is the Avon Heathcote Estuary Ihutai Trust. And at the moment, we've got appoints Councillor Genevieve Robinson to represent Environment Canterbury on the Avon Heathcote Estuary Trust. Move that. Clarification.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I thought that Paul, because Genevieve is already a committee member, so I thought Paul Diche was going to.
So I've been appointed to the board of that trust, and for a councillor liaison, I think it would be best to have somebody else, at least for a 12-month period.
But I'm happy to remove that. How do we do that? Or do we just replace it? Because we didn't put it. Is the mover and the seconder happy for that to be removed?
Yes, I am. I mean, if that's what's being asked by Genevieve, by Councillor Robinson.
Yes. So, what, that's the feature in there?
And I can move that, can I?
Yeah.
Good.
Sorry, seconded. Councillor Burns. So the motion will read appoints Councillor Deshay to represent Environment Canterbury on the Avon Heathcote Estuary Iutai Trust. All those in favour, say aye. Any against? Carried. We're almost there. Couple to go on this paper. So this one has a slight amendment. In the papers, it said that this was for the Banks Peninsula Conservation Trust. Staff have updated that, and the position is for Environment Canterbury Councillor on the project oversight group of Pest-Free Banks Peninsula Te Pātaka o Whakahotu initiative. And is there any people that want to go on that? I had Paul on my.
I've got one.
Okay. Withdraw that. Thank you. So I'll put the motion appoints Councillor Deshay to represent Environment Canterbury on the project oversight group of the Pest-Free Banks Peninsula Te Pātaka o Whakahotu initiative. Is there a mover? Councillor Robinson. Seconder. Councillor Southworth. All those in favour? Any against? Carried. Thank you. Next one is number 13, the Hekiel Hines Water Enhancement Trust. And for this, we'd like to confirm Councillor Mackenzie as the Environment Canterbury representative on the Hekiel Hines Water Enhancement Trust. Is that okay, Ian? Mover for that? Councillor East. Seconder. Councillor Ward. All those in favour say aye. Any against? Carried. Thank you. Almost there. Couple more. I thought there was only a couple more. So this one here is the South Island Regional Council's Alignment and Collaboration Governance Group, and that we can take these together. It notes that the membership can be council chair and council deputy chair or their nominees and the chief executive. So the number 15 appoints Chair Scott and Deputy Chair Pauling to represent Environment Canterbury on the South Island Regional Council's Alignment and Collaboration Governance Group. Do I have a mover? Ian Mackenzie. Seconder, Councillor Sunkel. All those in favour say aye. Any against? Carried. Thank you. Last one for this paper. This is the Whaka-Ora Healthy Harbour Governance Group, Whakaropo Catchment Management Plan. And like to appoint in this thing, the resolution says appoints Councillor Southworth to represent Environment Canterbury on the Whaka-Ora Healthy Harbour Governance Group, Whakaropo Catchment Management Plan. Do I have a mover? Councillor Deshay, yeah. Seconder, Councillor Robinson. All those in favour? Right. Any against? Carried. Thank you. Whoa. It's 2 o'clock. That's good. So that's paper 8.7. We now move on to 8.8. Does anyone need a break? Happy? Carry on? Cool. So 8.8 is the Whaka-Ora Healthy Harbour Collaboration Agreement, and we've just appointed our representative to that. And I'm going to get Dan to come to the table. Thank you, Dan. Introduce this.
Kia ora, I'm Dan Olican. I'm the team lead for the Water and Land Strategy team at Environment Canterbury. I'm here in place of Cam Smith, who is the Senior Strategy Manager for that group. And there's a paper prepared by one of my team, Fiona Miles, on the Whaka-Ora Healthy Harbour group, which we've just nominated Councillor Southworth for, or elected Southworth for. So this paper just seeks that the council delegates signing of the Whaka-Ora Healthy Harbour collaboration agreement to Councillor Southworth. The Whaka-Ora Healthy Harbour Partnership is a collaboration effort between Te Runanga o Ngāti Wheki, Te Runanga o Ngaitahu, Littleton Port Company, Christchurch City Council and Environment Canterbury for the implementation of the Whaka-Ora Healthy Harbour Whakaraupo Littleton Harbour Catchment Management Plan. That's quite a mouthful. The Catchment Management Plan articulates a long-term vision for restoring the ecological and cultural health of the Whakaraupo Littleton Harbour and has been in place since 2018. And the partners, along with Whakaraupo community, are now busy implementing the actions from that plan. The collaboration agreement builds on the previous memorandum of understanding that was in place to support the partnership. And the new collaborative agreement then outlines a way in which the group operates and confirms the funding that was provided by Environment Canterbury through the long-term plan. Members of Ngāti Wheki, Te Runanga o Ngaitahu, the Littleton Port Company and Christchurch City Council, along with Environment Canterbury, have been working together closely to draft this collaborative agreement. And governance group has endorsed the transition from an MOU to a collaborative agreement, and the final draft will go to that governance group on December the 12th at their, for the first time at their meeting. I just wanted to note finally that the agreement will be revisited through the next long-term plan as well. That's all I have for you at the moment.
Kia ora, Dan. Is there any other questions of clarification? Yep, Councillor Craig.
Through the chair, Dan. So I take it all the other agencies all agreed to it, or it hasn't been decided yet?
They've been working on the agreement and they're looking to do that at their December 12th meeting. Yep.
So just at the moment, yeah, I'm just Councillor Southworth will take will be there on behalf of us, and then we'll work it out, making sure that the other agencies, etc., Te Runanga and Ngāti Wheki are all 100% behind it. Yeah, couple.
Any other? Yeah, Councillor Southworth.
Just curious, it mentions in the information that it's the switch from the MOU is to do with financial risk, managing financial risk. I'm just wondering whether there's just the next little sort of explanation of what makes the difference.
As far as I understand it, it's a move to a collaborative agreement is a more of a formal structure for managing funding and so forth. The MOU was slightly too informal. So it just formalises the process and agrees the partnership in a more rigorous legal way.
Great. Any other questions? Can we bring the resolutions up? I'm actually just going to propose an amendment to this, and I'll just tell you why. It's because and if you go to page 101, you'll see that on the front page of the collaboration agreement. So I think we should get that right. So can we add, is everyone, how do we do that? Why just do it? Is it all right to make that change? Yes. So can we bring that up? So it's capital H it'll be, yep. And a little macron on the U if we can do that. And so with that amendment, if we can do that, got the macron ability, try and double U it. I know the shortcut to do that, but if we had another one on the page, we'd cut and paste it. But yeah, thank you for that, and thanks, Dan. I think you're happy to sit away from the table if you want. Thank you. Thanks for the questions. Oh yeah, grab the. Oh, there you go. You got it. Well done. Well done. Well done, Patricia. So with that amendment, can we pass these together? 1 and 2. You've got them on the screen there. Have I got a mover? Councillor Burns, seconder, Councillor Deshe. All those in favour, say aye. Any against? Cool, motion carried, thank you. 8.9. So this is just a procedural matter to bring something out of public excluded from the last term. And it's about a lease buyback. So what we're going to do is just put that to the table, and that is that the council receives the report as notification that the planning matter report made at the council meeting of 16th of June 2022 has been approved for release to the public. I'll move that. Is there a seconder? Councillor Edge. All those in favour, say aye. Any against? Thank you. Done. So now we move to number 9, resolution 9, and that's a resolution to go into public excluded. You can see there the resolution on the screen. I'll move it. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Southworth. So all those in favour, please say aye. Any against? Carried. So we'll just stop the recording, and those who are not meant to be in the room or online, I'll ask you to jump off now, please. Cool. So the recording started again. So we're back in public meeting. We've only got 2 more little things to do, and they're just notes. The next meeting of the council is scheduled to be Wednesday, not Thursday. Wednesday, the 14th of December 2022. And I want to thank everybody for their hard work today. I know it was a big meeting and lots of resolutions to pass, 70 odd or something. But thank you for everyone's effort and energy. And ask Councillor Cramwell if he would finish our meeting. Thank you.
Tēnā tātou, anei te mihi atu ki a koe te he mana, nau I whakahaere te mahi tēnei rā, I rawe tō mahi kia tau ai te whare nei, te ruma nei, nō reira tēnā koe, tātou katoa nei anō te mihi kia tātou katoa. Hei Karakia, hei whakakape, ka tākana te Karakia, unuhia. Unuhia, unuhia, unuhia ki te rutapu nui a tāne. Kia wāte, kia māma, te kākau, te tinana, te wairua, e te arataka tā, koe ara e roko, Pakiri ake ki roka kia tīna. Au me hui e tāiki. Kia ora tātou.